Right? And I'm not playing no games. Yeah.
Hey everybody. Yeah, impromptu, completely spontaneous, not well thought out. Who am I kidding? But a lot's been going on. I wanted to touch base with everybody. I have something kind of like recorded. I didn't I've had a lot of struggles lately trying to keep up with the day job, obligations at home, and editing. You know, I've been trying to level up. Hey Shield Wall, how you doing, brother? So this week I've kind of taken a little bit of a step back. Hey Matt, how you doing, brother? And just kind of focus on keeping Talk Hard going. So I'll be back next week. There's a few things that I had pre-recorded; those are going to drop soon. But really not been making any new videos right now. I'm really kind of in a place where I really need to focus on the balance between the time management and the financial part, right? Because I have commitments and stuff that I've done with my wife. I've been trying to downsize and sell off some comics and things like that. So I've been trying to figure out ways to do things that can be I don't want to do things for the money, but I want to do things that at least are worth the time, right? So if I focus on comic books, I list a bunch of comic books online, I reach out to some people here and there, I sell a bunch of comic books, I'm enjoying all of that, right? uh but at the same time, and money came in. If I spend 3 weeks of doing YouTube work or whatever, and it's not that I don't appreciate everyone's support, because they really do, my gosh, it's completely nuts. um yeah, it's just kind of where I'm at. So but yeah, Shiwall, hey brother. I really got busy myself end of July. Yeah. So I just did some shorts yesterday. I was processing comic books that people were going to different folks. I just like took a video on my phone, just did a little video. So that may be a little bit of what kind of the filler content as I work through cards and comics. I talked to Mrs. Pops about maybe doing like local events, like a flea market type situation, but more like not a flea market, but just up from like, not a yard sale flea market, but just up a little bit, and maybe trying to move some of the lower dollar things. A lot of the cards, as you guys know, some of these cards are 50 cents or $1. You can't even list on eBay, because if you list on eBay at $1, I think it's $1.55 is 50 cents, $1, something like that. It's like $1, it's either $1.55 or $1.64 minus fees, minus shipping, whatever. It's like 50 cents. So you're literally like you're fighting for like a third. It's so insane. Hey, Underground, what's going on, Pops? Did I see the gem mint and ISOM number? Oh, is it like a 10? $1 million, really? $1 million for an ISOM. So I have a whole video, guys. I'm not always great at promoting the stuff I do. So this is actually one that I purposely went out on my way to do, not because I was trying to bag on Eric. Was like, some of the prices on his stuff are completely insane. I mean, I understand that let's just take it as on a high end, right? 40,000 copies of the book or whatever. And there are like 9.8 versions or whatever. You're talking about hundreds of dollars of things. I'm like, listen, guys, I don't want to be the one to tell everybody, but you can buy an awful lot of nice key issues for $100, $200. $1 million is absurd. I mean, I'm talking for $1 million, you could buy like a whole store. I mean, there are people that would just walk. You know what I mean? I can't imagine on one book. And actually, I was just reading an article about that from the card perspective. Like, what would you rather try to sell? And it was like 10 $30 cards or one $300 card. Now, time wise, you want to sell the one $300 card, but the market is set to sell 10 to $30 cards. So this is sort of like the graded versus non-graded debate, being able to move things, what's in people's budgets and things like that. So anyway, so Matt, yes, brother. And by the way, such a cool dude. Make sure you guys check out his channel. He was going to come on with me and record some stuff. We were going to talk about Alan Moore. We're going to talk about some of these things. Just life gets in the way sometimes. That's all. So Jacob's here as well. Hey, brother. Love that video. I learned a lot about buying and selling comics on eBay. Yeah, cool. Well, listen, I really want to do more of that. I put in the title, Pops Consulting and Appraisal Services. So I've actually had some interesting ideas thrown my way. who've reached out to me personally over the last few days about what's going on, talking about some of the stuff. And again, I'm not bagging on eBay. I'm not bagging on YouTube. I'm not bagging on doing this. I was trying to figure out a way that I actually could do more of this, right? If I could do more of this, how could I go, I don't want to say even full time, but how could I level up? And I thought, well, it's not that hey, Troy, it is live. Yeah, this was totally impromptu, guys, because I know I have a lot of crap going on. People ask me a lot of stuff. So part I wanted to do is I am actively selling a lot of comic books. So it's actually, you guys, there's people that are out there in our community that you guys know who have just been like, yeah, I want those. You got these? I said, are you willing to sell these? Will you sell them for, what will you part with on this? I'm like, let's do this. Let's pay some debt off, make it faster to go through this process of reevaluating, how could I do, I don't want to say less day job, but how could I do more pops? How could I do what I really love doing? And someone recommended, there's kind of like two pieces to this. There's sort of like the appraisal and consulting part. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have something and you want to sit down and we could do a stream together. And maybe I ask for like a small donation of my time or my channel to say, listen, you come on, you bring your thing. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what it's worth. Let's evaluate the market together. We can look at outlets like eBay, price guides, Facebook Marketplace. We can look at those kinds of things. Then there's also more like intricate time. Like maybe you want, personal time that doesn't involve the channel. So I won't have any benefit from streaming it on my channel. You want it to be private. Maybe I ask for $50 for half hour to an hour. Right. And that's more like, well, let's go through these comic books and make sure you understand what grading is. Let's look at a book. If you have a good enough camera or whatever, there wouldn't be any stress because, no one's going to see it. And we can look at what stress marks there are. Should you grade it? Should you not? What's a 9.8 versus a 9.6 versus a 9 versus an 8? What's the market? And that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing is trying to look down that avenue to see where I can tap into things that I know stuff about. That's all. So there's a hypothesis that if you list it at an absurd price on eBay, some cylinder shows eventually with some more money will burn it. Okay. Well, so this was very common during the pandemic. I think the sports card people got totally burned by this because there was nothing else going on. And once the frenzy started, there wasn't a way to sort of shut it off. And the speculation is still like that. So what was happening is they would announce something and the person would go to eBay and they'd see these books listed at, let's say, $400. So these books would start selling and pushing this price up as far as availability, because some of these things are uncommon. It's not to say they don't exist. It's just no one had them graded or they're not listed on eBay. And that was kind of a trend that lasted well into the pandemic, well into 21, before the economy really, really tightened up. And now it has shrunk very dramatically. So the market now, in my opinion, is very fad driven. Okay. So like, for instance, this book right here, this is a Pitt #1 9.8 that I bought. That is not a hot book. I can list that book. I could list that book at $80, like 20% less than it should go for. $30. You should go for about $100 to $120, basically, right? I could list it at $80 and it won't move because it's not a hot commodity right now. People aren't looking. So we're back to the bubble of what's a fad. People are only into like the fad stuff at the moment. They're not into they're not really into sort of like a longer term play or anything like that. So, but hey, brother, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a member. And all of you members, I know I posted about canceling memberships. I've come off that. Someone said, look, just let it be, because you can't always undo when you take something out. And a lot of people are saying, I support you just for you supporting you. I don't really care if you do a member stream. I don't really care about member. I mean, because the one thing I really wanted to do was to have early access for all those videos. Like if you remember, you could just go to the channel the moment I had them uploaded and you could see them. The problem is I have to manually flip that from member only to public to be, for everyone. And it's like a manual thing. It's not a schedule thing. I can't say make it a member only until this date and time. I have to go in each one of those and flip them. And it is a complete disaster. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to do that and I end up not getting the time right. It'll post at like 3 a.m. or it'll, But I appreciate it. Troy, you've been with me. Matt, you've been with me for like near the beginning. So I appreciate you so much. So today's economy is everything is so expensive. Finding a good deal is real important. I got to be honest, Shield Wall, it's kind of a buyer's market. I think you're right. Everything is expensive. I was really shocked that the Tampa Comic Con and the comic book dealers in particular were way overpriced. Like they were either pricing at pandemic levels, or they were pricing at the point where they thought people were just going to come in and undercut them. So because the market has really softened on moving certain things. So it's a buyer's market, especially on eBay for auctions. So again, I talk about like if you were to ask me appraisal advice and things like that, a lot of what I'm going to tell you is it's not the greatest time to sell. Coming from a person who just admitted to selling, but I know what my stuff's worth. I'm trying to make smart decisions and things like that. And yes, Mrs. Pop's been very supportive about pulling stuff out that I didn't want to get rid of. So that actually happened yesterday. I actually pulled the book out of the box. So you could start up a comic version of the Antiques Roadshow. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Matt, I'd love to have your advice as well on trying to do that and do it with me even. If we could figure out a way, again, I'm not wanting to do it for the money, but how could I improve the financial part to add or to pull away more from the financial part of my life? You know what I'm saying? Because that's really where some of the limitations are coming. It's like I'm ending up, doing other things, and that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to do something like that. I think it's great. You are like a wealth encyclopedia of knowledge. Actually, Troy as well, man. You guys talk about two people who are just here by the perfect storm. We just have great people in this community to do that kind of thing. So DJ Ronnie G's in the house. Hey brother. Thanks for your membership and support, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Antiques Roadshow for geek stuff. Yeah, it's funny because every now and again on Antiques Roadshow, it'll be some random thing, but it's usually some obscure thing. And they'll tell someone, oh, so it's worth $10,000. But it's like, it's not an item that's in demand at all. So you're not going to get that money. For instance, I have listed on eBay at a ridiculous price. Matt, this will prove your point, right? I have on eBay a ridiculously priced, because it's absurd, a Song of the South school book with the record thing, but it's a teacher's edition and the kids edition. It's like a set of these books. It is radically insensitive by today's standards. So I have it listed on eBay at some radical price. So it kind of fits into that kind of category. But yeah. I would love to do that kind of. That's good idea. So it was like the Tulip Bowl craze in the 1600 Netherlands. Okay, you got me, Shill. I have no idea where. I know about it very, very vaguely. So. Member of the channels, and I hardly even watch their vids on a regular basis, let alone catch all their early and members only stuff. I support. Yeah, I know, brothers. Me too. I was too. Again, for those of you who haven't heard that spiel, just so one of the reasons I kept my job and when we relocated was to maintain the financial security and things like that, and really, really continue to pay down on my mortgage, do things I could do to not say I'm going to retire, but speed up that pressure, right? But the problem is with the inflation and the gas prices and all that, I haven't made the headway that I wanted to make. I'm loving doing this. It makes my life. This is joy beyond all joy. But I've had to stop my support for everybody. I've kind of had to come off gas on that, because it was kind of like I was supporting people were supporting me, and all that was kind of going to support others. And it was like, I wasn't getting, I'm not advancing my bigger goals. So I'm trying to reevaluate how to move forward. But Troy, I appreciate that so much. And I don't watch all of your stuff in real time either. As you guys have all heard, I watch almost everything in 1.5 to 2 speed, which usually is sometimes weeks later while I'm driving. So. Han Solo and Carbonite still costs about what it did in the 90s in nominal dollars. Yeah. So some of these things just didn't take off. And you do have to remember that things that are from the 90s, there was mass, right? There was mass production of these things. So we can talk about Spawn #1, but reality was there's 5 million copies. The market is very saturated. Power of the Force Kenner action figures, for instance, or I think that may be the one you're referring to. There's millions of them. So yes, people were already collecting by then. They were well aware compared to, vintage 78 figures or something like that. So yeah, something just didn't go. But I think what you're getting at, and where someone like Troy would be great to do a show with like that, is to be able to actually have figures, or someone who wants to know what their collection is worth, and do a stream, ask for a small donation for our time or something like that, and go through how to tell some of the figures apart. Like, here's our C3PO. This is this one. You can see this issue here and here. You can see that would be kind of fun to do. And I think that might be an option. So thank you for those. You throw those emojis there. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, got it. So Scott's here. Hey, brother. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, man. Long time no talk. Yes, Scott. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, talking a little bit about what's been going on, some life catch-up stuff. Came out of the hurricane. It was really kind of funny. You guys, all of you that have done YouTube, you'll know you have graphs, and your graphs kind of go along. They kind of have a pattern to them, per se. I'm a slow growth kind of guy. I don't catch numbers every single day. I don't worry about it. But it's funny because of the hurricane, there's this massive U-shaped dip. My graph's like this, and there's like this big dip like that. So, and then we'll see what happens now. So that's why I did some shorts and stuff and things like that, because I just, it's hard to know how to navigate the time management and the financial part and some of that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, you still have that one. Yeah, that's maybe the exact one. Is it yellow, Bobby? It's yellow. It's like a yellow book, and this thing is like a set, so it comes in like a big plastic case thing and stuff. So, Project Cambium's in the house. Hey, brother. Hey, Ruben Christopher. All right, Ruben's here. Hail, my friend. I have been feeling better. I'm recovering yet. I had a vision for an idea earlier this year. I'm now ready to write my business plan. It's being a creator, mentor, and a producer. Awesome. Well, good for you, man. Listen, I've always been thinking about you, praying for you, man. I know it's been a long, rough road for you. And yeah, it's like, I think we all have to sometimes take pauses and back up and go forward, and back up and go forward. It's a constant thing for sure. So, yeah. Oh, the life size one. Yeah. That giant thing. Oh yeah. 14K. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, huh? Again, it's market, right? It's market accessibility. I would say, of the Star Wars things, or some of the markets I've really gotten into now, my son's really turned me on, and there's a couple other people in this community. I think I could say Angry Canadian. He wouldn't be mad. The Lego market, and there's a couple of websites that really have good tracking. And I said this the other night too, and I don't pay for this service because it's not inexpensive. It's kind of pricey. It's called Market Movers, and it was created and designed for the sports card people, but you can tweak and modify it to track other items. Lego stuff, I mean, it has, especially Star Wars Lego, a consistent growth on a lot of stuff. Like if it has done very, very well. So most big DC Marvel books from the 60 years before 2000 had millions of copies per issue printed. It takes a long time for enough of them to get destroyed by time. Yeah. So yeah, the print runs on some of these books, it would seem like they would be more common. And I think, Matt, one of the things is grading comics well, I don't think it still is. I don't think most people grade them. So to have like the pristine, or have because the grading is really common in the sports card world, because you're now eliminating, or you're outsourcing that condition factor. And a comic book is even more complicated because you have multiple pages and paper and whatever. So when you go to comic shops, I mean, there's thousands of books. They're not graded. So there are other copies out there. So for sure. All right. Doing it for all those who want to dream and create something good and will make people happy and believe in love, hope, and happiness for all mankind, bringing people together and start up for love. Yeah. Yeah, brother. And you know what? It's about just trying to find joy, right? Trying to find happiness and joy and get through. It's for me, this has been sort of a godsend to keep me going and really find happiness. Being away from Mrs. Pops is really daunting at times. It's been hard. We go through times where it's hard. It's hard on one or both of us. Things that crop up, and you realize it's because of absence. Because they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but it is harder. It is not easy. And we're also not absent for like months, or because I'm in one of us in the military and like that. It's just because of the nature. I have like a traveling job. It's basically a better way to look at it, and kind of things like that. So, but yeah, trying to But the positivity in the world is definitely part of it. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be trying to look at it from kind of a local standpoint as well to see what I could do. Not really through, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but Facebook does tend to be a little bit more community centric. You can reach out to like a local group and local community stuff, things like that. So maybe there's options to do that, to be the town nerd. What do you think? Am I the town nerd? PKL, talk about a great channel, guys. Awesome. Good to see you streaming once more, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been tumultuous. The hurricane was rough. It was hard to recover from the cleanup from that. Not because we went through a lot of destruction, but I own a lot of property, so a lot of trees, a lot of brush, a lot of things like that. And then it did not rain, so we were hesitant about trying to, burn for cleaning. Instead, it's very expensive to have to haul away, take stuff to these recycling and waste areas where you can take your brush and debris. So usually in my area, you just, you burn, you dig a burn hole and that's where you burn. But, when it's still dry and stuff post hurricane, it was, and it's been hard. And then with work and traveling and stuff like that, it's a little difficult figuring out that balance. And for me with streaming, I was not doing a good job. And maybe this is what I should do. It's like I haven't been doing a good job of having a themed stream and then be able to try to navigate out of that, maybe a nice little clip or something like that might be to fill in a little gap for some content or something like that. So yeah, I'm just kind of reevaluating everything PKL. So the Tuesday night, the Talk Hard is still consistent. We have a good schedule coming up with some fun shows. LOKI and IRONCASTER did a great job this Tuesday because I was not in a good headspace. So I don't want to be pretending or being out there. So right now I've just kind of done a reschedule and a pause on pretty much everything until I kind of figure out what is kind of like the better ways to move forward, if you will. Like what is the good way to do this, have value for our time, make a good contribution to the community, to you guys. Felt like I needed to edit more and try to maybe add some more pizzazz or pop to a video and things like that. I'm not going to do things that are out of character, but I want to do things. I want to be able to evolve. I can add clips. I do add clips, but it's time consuming. I don't have an editor. I don't have anything like that. It's just me, just little old me. So yeah, the sink always tends to leak once you go on a trip. Yeah, it's yeah, should. Well, it's one of those things you turn your back for a second. Next thing you know, like what happened in here? I was just here for 5 minutes. How did this go bad? So quickly. So, yeah. So, uh, I don't also. So again, I'm gonna say something. First, let me say hey to JT. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Oh, we'll get to Ruben here. Since 2012, everyone I love died, last gone in 2020. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Dealing with my MS has been a hard road, yet every day I have hope. Now it's time for me to stand in a humble example of what is good. You're so right, my friend. You're so right. And I think here's the thing with the channel. It would be easy, and I was in a pretty dark place. I was kind of like, oh, I'll just put the channel on hold for a while. I'll take a second job. I'll work in the evenings. The channel's the channel. Maybe I can do one show, or I could do whatever. But I know the algorithm. I know how YouTube works. If you're not generating content, you're just dying. You're dying on the vine, right? And I thought to myself, you know what? I refuse to concede that. I refuse to concede that. I have so many people that I've gotten to know, so many people I consider friends, people that are just incredible acquaintances. And I hope that I can break bread with them and get to know them even more. I wish I had more time on, there's folks here. I wish I had more time to be on PKL's channel or Shield Wall. And, JT, hopefully we'll try to connect with him sometime. And Ruben, I'd love to do something with you sometime. Jacob, I'm always trying to figure out a way to get my schedule to line up with what Jacob's doing because he's got an amazing channel as well. So I refuse to concede that I have to lose it all or sacrifice it all, or the solution is that binary. It's do this to make more money, and, or do YouTube. It doesn't have to be the way. Screw that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to try to find ways to navigate through maybe streaming closer to the house, maybe on weekends. I'm trying to think about ways to just, what if I don't do that? What if I just continue to do, I'm selling stuff that I already own, comic books, cards, things like that. I know the markets. I could continue to do, I could do more of that as a way of getting through some of the financial stuff. So For those of you who don't know, this is my son who is in Georgia. So hail to Pixel Brick. I love you, I love you, man. It's so funny. So I'll just take my stuff and go on the road. I want to see how that will go. You know what? Your kids would love it. We should do that, actually. What do you guys think? Should I go on a road trip when I'm up there visiting again and just take the whole pop setup with me and get the grandkids on and the whole thing? Because I think they'd be down with that. I know the little girl will. She's a ham. She won't even believe it. So, I'm not going to rule that out. So, yeah. Yeah, Pat, this was impromptu. It was encouraged by somebody to say, listen, you know, I kind of got the bug put in my ear, and then I asked someone else for some advice on it, and it was very encouraging. Like, maybe I should look at, and I may do this locally. It's like in the community, but I also open it up here as well. Like, maybe we should do like appraisals and consultation. And I have my own take on how to be a YouTuber. Like if you had a channel or you had someone who's brand new or what to do, or maybe you feel stuck, or maybe you feel like, what do I do, different ways. I've kind of gone through a lot of that. It's hard to say I should charge money for that advice. And that's a hard place to get to. So I'm just struggling with the idea of how to add some financial value to this part that I love so much, balanced against my day job obligations, my family obligations and goals and stuff like that. So I know this is probably this is like the faux pas, right? You're never supposed to talk about religion and money. And here I am walking right in the middle of one of those conversations. So Project Cambrian, I'd break bread with you any day of the month, any day of the week. Well, listen, brother, you gotta let me know when you're in town. You're in Central Florida somewhere, something like that, or even Orlando. As long as I have enough notice. That the trick is, Pat S will attribute to my schedule. I do not let moss grow. So if there's a hole in the schedule, something's going to go there. So, yeah, and I put Pat on a hold, so we're not scheduling anybody or anything like that. So please just know that right now I'm trying to find my plan for how to adjust. Like I said, if I committed to Mrs. Pops to say, this credit card is going to be paid off by the end of the year, whatever that is, right? And I'm keeping this day job, still doing this stuff, but that thing is not going away. Why? Well, it is in part because of inflation and gas prices and everything costs more. It's also because I spend most of my free time doing this and not doing things that generate revenue. So that's why we are doing this. So Ruben's giving me a thumbs up. Always good. Always good. Nothing better than sharing a meal with people. Yeah, brother. Absolutely. You guys know. So I hear OF is a bank, brother. Okay. Do it. All right. Mobile Road Studio. Great idea. Yeah. Son of Pops. Yes. So yeah, I love you, buddy. You'd be a fan. They'll love. Trust me. He came. He's been in here before when I was live, and he just realized that we just kind of hang out and stuff like that. So, if everything is okay, JT, I will be there. I will admit the turmoil made. I think you're one of the few things I haven't canceled yet. So I still got another week or so to kind of keep things, kind of find my way and make sure I can keep things going, so to speak. You know what I mean? Try to figure out my footing. So, because I don't have I'm not doing any videos tonight. I'm uploading videos that were already pre-recorded, but there's not going to be a cartoon videos. I mean, I've watched all the stuff, guys. I could go on Roman show tonight and talk about Ahsoka, but you're probably just going to hear me rant and rave and say stuff that they're saying. So I didn't really feel motivated to do my own video right now. JT, I don't even know what we're going to talk about in October, but by then I'll have a better game plan of what I'm going to do, whatever that looks like. And I got to be honest, I just want to come up in here and talk to you guys. Hey, Brandon, how you doing, brother? Great little fun guy over there, a great channel. So thanks for check that out. Mobile Pops. I wouldn't have a problem going to my son's house and doing it. I actually wouldn't have a problem going anywhere and doing it. This is literally a very, very generic little setup. You guys would be so disappointed if you saw what we're dealing with. So if I make that trip from Canada, you're on. Yeah, listen, anytime. Listen, if I can hang out, I would love it. I love doing that. So I like the 1966 Popsmobile better than 1989 Popsmobile. Oh, I see what you're going. All right. 66, huh? Yeah, I can't argue with that actually. So, what are your thoughts on the recent Ahsoka episode? So, briefly, Ahsoka is proving to be exactly what most things are. Disney has about an hour and a half to 2 hour story. They don't want to make a movie, so they drag it out to 6 or 8 hours, and it's just content full of fluff, walking around, long pauses, not always well directed, not well edited. The recent episode is the action and the stuff everyone's been looking for. I was proven wrong. I didn't think we would actually see Thrawn. I thought he would be at the very, very, finality of things. We actually saw Thrawn. I was sort of underwhelmed by Thrawn. He didn't seem. Thrawn is more tactical and conniving than how he was. I don't think he, like the cheering Thrawn, Thrawn, Thrawn thing. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that part. But overall, it's just it's sort of another average show for me. Like, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett was awful. Oh, so I don't even know if I could ever watch it all again. It's sort of just like Kenobi and Andor and everything else. Like there's good stuff in there. It's just it's so bloated, a lot of wasted time and things like that. So, Tim is here. Hey Tim, how you doing, brother? Yeah, we did. I was over on Brandon's channel. He has a fun little channel. I was able to do some streaming now, so I was able to hang out with him for a little bit. So, yes, Pops has a crazy schedule. Mostly, he has to fit in all of Ironcaster Shark Movie. Oh yeah, there's well, yeah, I do. I did watch a lot of them. So, AC from across the pond, how you doing, brother? Just mentioned your name dropped you a little bit there about the Lego stuff. So anyway, so yeah, good to see you, brother. Thank you, and thank you for all those kind words to support myself. Yeah, no, I understand, man. No, I'm not planning on canceling on you, man. I know it's been really long and hard to figure that out to get us to line up our schedules. And if you're not connected to Pat S, please do so I can figure out how to get you on my schedule for maybe late October or something. Give me a few weeks to kind of sort out pre-records and things like that. So, yeah. Pops, I think we should cancel the YouTube Christmas party. Save you some time and money, sir. Yeah. Yeah, that's I thought that was already canceled, my friend. No. It has been almost daunting to look at the amount of things that you want to do as a creator or that you would want to share with people, movies you want to watch, reviews you want to do. Like, when you really enjoy it, I almost feel overwhelmed. Not because nothing more than I want to record and talk and just share and do it and then put it and go. So I envy those that have better editing skills and better time management skills to do that. You'll see my videos have little, intros and outros. It's a lot of plug and play, because anything else requires a lot more time management, and it's always like an invitation to problems. So that's part of it. The underground. Do you like Mark Millar? Absolutely. Obsession right now. Yeah. Mark Millar is probably the best creative mind right now, to be honest. Yeah, his stuff is fantastic. Anytime I think I've thought about all the Mark Millar, I mean, Nemesis and Nemesis Reloaded was a blast. Yeah, there's tons of great stuff. Yeah, Mark Millar. So we just did I don't. Pat would have to correct me. I don't know exactly the date, but yeah, we did Old Man Logan. Yeah, Mark Millar's top tier for sure. Thrawn is not age well. Thrawn has got like dad bod going on. It's a little nuts for me. He felt out of character for some. Yeah, just didn't really work for me. Filoni isn't smart enough to write a character smart. No, he is not. Filoni is to me a complete joke. Just joke. Tabletop is here. Hey, brother. Thank you for hanging out with me, friend. Thanks. I heard Boba Fett was bad. Boba Fett. Boba Fett was brutal. If you were a diehard OT fan, Boba Fett was this cool, mysterious character, and it is just an absolute abomination of what they do and how they handle his character so badly. So, witch magic. I know there's witches now in Star Wars. There's a lot of witches. Ironcaster is here. Hey there. And brother, thank you so much for rocking Robot Jocks Talk Hard this week. Thank you guys so much for that. I was in a rough headspace. So, Low Spec is here. What's more disappointing, Pops? Justified or also well, Justified is significantly more disappointing because I did not have expectations for Ahsoka. So they've worn me down with Star Wars. So they've worn me down now with Marvel and Star Wars, in that I expect 6 to 8 episodes and get an hour and a half of content. That's all I expect. I expect, 10 seconds. It should have been like 5. It's like there's no getting in and out of scenes in Disney. It's all bloated. There's wasted things. I mean, all of the jingling of the keys and all the cameos. And I love the Clone Wars stuff. I know my son has been around here, and AC would just love the last episode of Ahsoka, where we have like a little flashback to the Clone Wars, and young Ahsoka was fine. I like seeing Captain Rex. I thought the battle tank in the background, I'm like loving the shot. And guess what? None of it really matters. It's just a coma dream. It's just it's in her head or whatever. So I'm not disappointed by Ahsoka. Justified, on the other hand, I guess you and I had talked about it, and I don't think I was very gung ho about it, but I felt like I would actually see Raylan, and he was just not Raylan at all. You know what I mean? So the bigger question, Matt, is Justified or the Special Ops Lioness, because Taylor Sheridan is such a good creator, and they're both just such disappointment massively. So Ironcaster, go back and check out that snarky Pat. Make sure you stay up to date there. Thank you, man. Appreciate you listening while you're driving around. Screw Mark Millar. He's the primary writer behind Civil War. I'll never forgive him for that atrocity. Oh, I understand, man. Yeah, I know. Look, I'm not trying to say it. Look, there's not going to be anybody that's got a perfectly clean resume, right? So, let's see. We could have a series of episodes with Troy explaining why going to 6-inch Star Wars action figures both missed the mark and helped kill the most profitable toy line in history. Yeah, no, we could. Like I said, again, I hate bringing the finances into this, but that's kind of what's been going on, right? I've spent all day yesterday, all into the night, in my car, in and out of my car 3 times, meeting people and moving comic books. I have financial goals. I have aspirations, not necessarily of retiring, but not working remotely away from my wife. I want to spend more time with her. I want to be able to bring some of that along the way. So we're talking about lots of different things, and I like the idea of. I got to be honest. I love the idea of helping people appraise and assess their collection, whether or not they should grade something or not, selling something or not, what things are worth, things like that. I just love all that. I know it shouldn't shock anybody. That literally is like the uber nerdy of it all, right? So, TT. Okay, yeah, he's not driving. Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, that's good stuff. So, yeah. So, I don't really have a great schedule lined up other than Talk Hard right now. That's going to be next week. We're going to do that for sure. And then I'm just kind of have to wait and see how the day job and the comic book collectible stuff works. I've got stuff. I've ordered some sleeves and stuff to maybe go through cards and sort them out so I could take them to an event to sell. Comic books are easier because, you can use sticky notes on graded books, things like that. It's a little bit easier to do the comics. But price to move. If you got stuff that you might want, I might be the person to contact. Obviously, I've had somebody who has hit me up very quickly on almost all of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man sold right away. OG Batman, like the free, 10 cent to 25 cent Batman. Someone's already earmarked almost all those. That I'm willing to sell. There's some that I pulled back. A lot of the Miller Daredevil are gone. I don't know if I have any left actually. So it's been a good few days financially. So I'm just trying to figure out that balance. What can I do? Nerdy stuff. So Shield Wall. Yeah. You gotta get ready for Roman's show. Do that, man. And Roman should probably send me a link. I might be able to pop in for a while and rant and rave about Ahsoka a little bit. I don't know. It's tricky, man. I got to go in there and see where I'm at on my organization before I drive home. So, yeah, Special Ops started all right. Agree. I'll say episodes 1 through 3. Yeah, by the time you got to 5 or 6, we had side missions, the lesbian relationships. We had all sorts of crazy nonsense. So, I couldn't agree more. Said Nick Weiser, we need to figure out a way to do a live stream swap meet. Maybe we should monetize that. Just have to figure out a way to pay the house. Yeah, so there are live auctions. That's a very common thing. So let's say we're going to auction off. Oh, I don't know that I don't want to part with any of those books. Those books are really on the block right now. I mean, if someone wants to give me the $100 for Pitt, I mean, I sell it to you for $100, but and to ship it, but I'm just going to buy another one for $100. But you can get them $100 all the time. That's my Joe Frankenstein that's signed by Chuck and Graham. So I'm not interested in selling that. I just got that. Let's see. Yeah, that's the Death Dealer book and one of the Ghost Rider books. Yeah, I'm not interested, but you would just say, all right, this is, you put letters on them, tell people about where you're at, and you would run like a clock. Say for 10 minutes, we'll take bids or auctions or whatever, and then they ship them out or whatever. So I see those, things like that. So yeah. Why? Why? I think it's episode 4 is worth kind of watching, and then like watch the most recent one and just watch the recaps. I think that's all you could do. I wouldn't even watch episodes 2 and 3. You don't really need them. You can watch episodes. You can watch something in the beginning. Watch episode 4 with the recap. Episode 6 with a recap. That would be my recommendation. IRONCASTER, save you a little bit of time. No. Sorry, that was not. That was him talking about Lioness. Sorry, not that I should be surprised, but well, there are at least some. Okay, nothing actually happens or actually is insinuated, but you feel like there is in the first couple episodes of Ahsoka between her and Sabine. Like you almost feel like there's romantic tensions because of their body language. You know, Ahsoka doesn't have any. She's barely emoting. She's like a freak. I call her the cantaloupe. She's just a cantaloupe rolling around from scene to scene. I think Joker calls her a plank of wood. That's all fair, but there is sort of like a. It doesn't come across as apprentice and Padawan like in one iota. So, but yeah, gotcha. I'm good to. Well, I won't finish. Yeah, I would. Yeah, like I said, you can just watch. So Ahsoka, I would say episodes, just 1 to get a feel for the show because that's a setup to everything. 4 with just watch the recap, and then 6 with this recap. So, oh my gosh, Shelly, thank you so much, Shelly. You are so generous. Just saying hi. Head in Missouri tonight, hang out with my ex-sister. Oh man, $25. Thank you so much, Shelly. You've been such a great supporter all this time. Things like that. I appreciate you so much. You're so generous. I need to have you on sometime if you want. That would be kind of cool to hang out and talk some more. So, let me know. But thank you so much, especially right now, because that is part of what's going on behind the scenes is some of the financial stuff and the tensions that come from that. Right when you are trying to balance your time versus the value, and that is it. And Shelly, can't tell you enough how much you have been supporting me in so many ways. It's incredible. Thank you. Toys and Comics Con, yeah, dude, you'd have to go up to the Panhandle so people don't have to drive 12 hours. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, a pop show would on the road. I don't know. So again, we're talking about doing something very local. It's like they have like a swap meet, and it it started as just being like a farm swap meet near it's like 15 minutes 15 miles from the house or something like that, but it's turned almost into almost like small flea markety type stuff, but I don't think there's really any overhead. So it's like I told my wife that if we wanted, the weather's nice, we could organize some of the stuff, and that's not the thing where I'm going to go take the expensive graded books to. That's more like you put all the dollar comics in a box. You go through the cards and you're looking at stuff that's $10 and less. I don't have a glass case, so I don't want to put I have a gold Carrie Fisher card. It's the printing plate for the autograph, but it's not actually signed. It's the printing plate card. Probably I think I've got it at maybe $200 or $300 on eBay, and it's like I'm not taking that card, so I just lift it, right? So, but it could work. It's a cost benefit. It's about the rent. So I'd be more likely to go to Georgia where my son is, and he and I would do something. That would be kind of cool. We've talked about that, and I told him it's a shame that the world hasn't aligned right. We should open a store. We got to figure out a way to not have major overhead though. I watched one just got consumed with One Piece. Yeah, One Piece. I'm actually so Ironcast should be proud of me. I've taken your recommendation. I love the show. I wish I just don't. I don't know that I have a whole lot to contribute to the conversations everyone's been having about the show, but I do love the show. I got Mrs. Pops watching it. So you believe that? If Mrs. Pops is watching it, guys, it's that good. So there you go. It boggles my how Filoni can create and depict Ahsoka in such a wonderful way in Clone Wars and then ruin her completely in this show. Then again, Lucas was involved in her creation too. Yeah. She didn't die. I've always been hung up on that. Young Ahsoka in the flashback coma scene was fine. The Ahsoka that we're seeing in the show is, again, she's a cantaloupe rolling around from scene to scene. She has no emotion whatsoever. It's really irritating. Because they actually try at ruining her. Yeah, they seem like they do for sure. Lucas is the one named her Ahsoka. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. Need to come to the Midwest where we can have a carbonated beverage pops. Yes, the correct. I see what you did there. So listen, again, this is another reason why I gotta get the finances under control, or I should say under control. If I say under control, that implies they're out of control. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is make certain things go away. Right. So if I have certain things go away, pay my car off, whatever, then it frees up, for $1,000 trip. It's like a $1,000 Talk Hard convention, right? Talk Hard meetup. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like in the middle of the country somewhere like, we've always joked about, because I think Loki and I are south, Ironcaster's north, somewhere in the middle. Like isn't that where the ICC convention is, like in Tennessee or Kentucky or something like that? Because it's almost like it seems like the perfect location to be in the center of the country like that. So it's been talked about, but I got to be able to fulfill my responsibilities and obligations. So that's where we are on things. So that's kind of the gist, guys. I'm going to wrap up at 7:30. I want to get myself a little bit of a snack in here before we get Roman show starts. He'll be talking about Ahsoka with another great panel. Oh, Ahsoka did die. Yeah, okay. I understand. But I meant, yeah, it's fine. And that's how we ended up in this big mess, this world between worlds nonsense, right? So, yeah, I know. It just, I should have elaborated, Matt. I'm sorry. You're fact checking me properly. I appreciate that though. Because I think you knew what I meant though. It's like there was no finality. There was a cheat. So later, but yeah. So I just want to head out. So anyway, that's my thoughts, guys. Feel free to DM me comments in the description for those of you who might be catching this later on. Don't be disappointed because I don't have a whole ton of content. I need like a web create. Oh, so actually, Pops, that's an idea. Open a store, then you could do Geeks Teak Roadshow. If someone wants to sell a thing you feature, you get a commission. Yeah, you know what? I actually do that already, Pat. Troy. I actually have stuff in my eBay store that is from someone else. It's their uncle that passed away, and he had a flea market stuff. So he had all this really old stuff. I don't have much left from them. I have I think they're mostly just full sets. Things like that. So they get all that money. I don't ask for a commission. I just, I run it through them for them. So they don't know anything about any of that nerdy stuff. I took care of it for them. So I have no problem doing that for you. If somebody wants me to put something on 3eBay for you, I'll be more than happy to play middleman for you and work that with you. I have no problem doing that. So, oh man, that stinks too. She's third best favorite character. So, but that's my thoughts on things. As far as like the website part or like more like an online store, I kind of like started creating one. I have a URL and it's through GoDaddy and it had like the template, and the template doesn't work. So I just got a whole bunch of junk sitting there and me trying to figure it out and can't figure it out. So I guess but I also don't, when you don't have the money to invest in like the web design to do like a proper e-commerce or something like that. So it's kind of tricky because I think that would be another option to cut the eBay out. So it's not the 13.5% and fees and stuff that you just they kill you on the fees. It's absolutely criminal. But yeah, it's not out of the question, Troy. It's just trying to figure out the way to make some of the transfer. And if I do decide to do some like a physical selling, like I go around, do some different shows or markets or whatever, then I'll probably like continue to scale the eBay stuff down. Because sports cards don't sell for nothing. Sports cards are just, the market is saturated with regular cards. Most people are only interested in higher end rookie cards. It's all about who's the flavor of the moment. And very few people people that are into like vintage collecting or old school collecting are just diehard into it, but that's not the majority of what's going on. It's all about the flash in the pan of the moment. So it's a very frustrating thing. So I have a lot of stuff that's just sitting there. But oh yeah. Yeah, listen, brother. Thank you so much. So again, for those of you who didn't catch it, I'm not going to cancel the membership. I'm just going to kind of let it lie, let everybody understand. I'm just not going to be generating much content right now. I've got to figure out the life balance, the financial reward, the financial cost benefit about how much time I spend editing or what I'm doing. Been selling a lot of comic books, but I don't want to be. So maybe, I don't know, if you got extra few bucks, maybe you can hit me up. I got some X-Men stuff. It's no one's dipped in the X-Men stuff. To be honest, I put a couple pictures of some things on Facebook and stuff, and no one even batted an eye. So maybe I put the wrong ones up. But I have the first appearance of Rogue and stuff. That's the only one anyone's asked about. But people want it for like, $20 or $15 or something. I'm like, that's way too low. I know my books are graded. I know what they look like. So the way money on sports cards is to find unopened boxes from the 80s or 90s, fish for rookies, find those boxes and abandoned stores and such. So you did see the X-Men. Well, I only posted a little bit. You know me, Padawannabe. That's about that much of how many I have. So let me know. Matt, I only kind of agree because that only involves you grading them, and grading cards is really tricky. One, because you can open all that, you can find a Cal Ripken rookie card and it'll be off center, and now you're just stuck, because even if you grade it, it might be a 7 or an 8. It's almost not worth your time. So I think the better play, I think I said earlier, it's what is it, 10 cards at $30 a piece or one card at 300? It's a balance between those two. You know what I mean? Trying to find that, leveling out of the low dollar cards. So if you open that box, you're stuck with all the junk cards too, by the way. So all those commons, all those Midland players, the Roberto Alomars and Albert Bells and, all those players that are, worth, it'll say 50 cents, it'll say a quarter to 75 cents on all these players. And you're just going to be sitting with them because they're a dime a dozen. And you can go into about any of these card shops. Somebody's more than happy to just give them away because they have so many. And your play is to figure out how to get rid of, and I know it's for me too, because I have a whole box of these I'm going to be going through, is to figure out how do I get rid of all of these and then keep things that are in that Midland. I'm going to say $3 to 10 and then the 10 to 50 and focus on that rotation. And then every now and again, find the good play on an investment. And I'm not good at that. I'm not good at sports cards as I understand comic books, but comic books don't get hurt. Comic books, Deadpool doesn't blow out a knee. Batman doesn't get arrested. Well, Batman might get arrested for drunk driving because these people are lunatics. So, but yeah, by the way, I do have the one Jubilees for. I know you already have that one. So, but if you are interested in wanting to buy anything, let me know, and I will try to get a list together. Or send you personally some more photos. I'll be posting more. I don't always post things over on Twitter, so I'm trying to do better. But on Facebook, what ended up happening in Facebook is I posted to the local neighborhoods group, and that's how I met someone who was really close. There's no shipping, just meet me down here, and then the guy at one of the shops contact. That's how I got the ball rolling. So, oh, cool. Yeah, I have a Fleer, the Fleer rookie card. But it's PSA graded 9. It's not a 10, but it's okay. It's like $20 to $30. They have $30 on it, but that's the only one I have left of his graded cards. I didn't even look at the box, so we'll see what I have in there. And I have 2 full boxes I haven't even gone through yet. There's just all I went through. I grabbed a handful of stuff today, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So I have to kind of decide how do I want to manage that. So anyway, listen, guys, thank you so much. Again, thank you to Shelly for an incredible super chat donation. Thanks to all you members who've been supporting me. And again, all I can tell you is I just want to be me. I love doing this. I'm not giving up. I'm not sacrificing the channel. I'm not sacrificing our time and our friendships. I have enough old content that I will just promote. So maybe you'll find something. I'm just going to start promoting things as though they're new, even if they're not new, just because I have what I consider evergreen or timeless content. Like, is this Wolverine book worth reading? Is this movie? Here's my thoughts. Those kinds of things I don't think are, just because they were published a year ago or whatever, doesn't mean that they've timed out on us. And I think I can try to fill the gap a little bit by me trying to navigate a better schedule and a better way to manage the finances to keep things going here and where we'll land. So bear with me. But if you were to cancel your membership, there would never be a hard feeling. I totally understand. I'm not living up to as much of my promise or much of my advertised promise as I originally intended. But you guys are just incredible. You always exceed my expectations anyway, but I appreciate all the kind words and support. Thank you guys so much. But I'm not down. It's not over. I'm not like hanging up a hat or anything like that. So yeah. Actually proud of my David Robinson rookie card with that NBA. Yeah. You know, it's funny too, because that was such a big deal card, and I bet you'd have a hard time moving it now. Thing with David Robinson is he's one of the greatest players, but because he was sort of like just a nice guy, nobody talks about him. He doesn't get any of the love he deserves. So, but anyway, folks, you guys be blessed. Again, thank you for everything. Love you guys so much. Appreciate it. Thanks that we could even do this, and you guys are always so welcoming and supportive. It's just great. So, you know, I love Bob. I actually listened to Bob today because it makes me happy. Put a smile on my face. So hopefully it'll do that for you too. You guys take care. Talk soon. Talk hard. Be blessed. Be back here on Talk Hard on Tuesday night. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Be live 5:30 Eastern time. Tuesday we'll have a throwback video. I should get that up and running fine. I have Vex on, Vex Electricon. She'll be on here with us. Vex will be on with me talking Goonies. So it's like a little throwback. We do some things. It was a fun little conversation. We definitely, if you haven't seen my time with Vex on other stuff, you will see her because she's on with that. And she'll be on with Watchers. Well, this week's Watch Your Story on Sunday is Floral from Another Rock. And next week will be Vex. So I did have some stuff pre-recorded. And there's a couple other throwback videos in the mix over the next couple weeks as well. Horror movie things mostly, because I was trying to get a jump start on all of the horror movies and stuff I didn't really talk about last year. So there'll be a few more of those. So thanks again, and I will talk to everybody soon. Take care, everybody.
Ross, all I do is chill.